I am on a mission to beat Ragnaros and craft his hammer, Sulfuras. However, there is one big catch. I have to only use gear and items that I craft myself. Using 5 characters, we use as many professions as we can to increase our chances of survival. Last week, we reached level 16 on our priest, not being able to progress as much due to IRL circumstances. This week, however, we step on the gas and grind like never before. Welcome back to Hardcore CraftedLocked. This week's goals for our priest were pretty big. Reach level 20, craft brand new gear, craft our first set of woolen bags, and run the Deadmines as a healer. It should be noted that I have never healed before in any video game, so I was a bit anxious. And we will also focus a bit on our rogue as well. So we start off at Stormwind. Now that we were level 16, we get access to the new and improved spells. Coupled with our level 13 wand, we are now very strong. Flying to Westfall, we turn in and accept the Defias Brotherhood. This is the same flying quest that our warrior already did, where you fly to Stormwind, then back to Sentinel Hill, and then over to Lakeshire. Now at Lakeshire, we accept a couple of quests and go for a little swim, grabbing Hillary's necklace and even Oslo's toolbox. We bring the packed lunch over to guard Parker and turn in a couple more quests at Lakeshire. After that, we turn in the price of shoes in Goldshire and go to Stormwind, so we can take the flight path back to Sentinel Hill, returning to Lakeshire and reaching level 16 and a half. Now last time on our warrior, when we were at level 16, we got a mage portal to Darnassus, courtesy of Medic, but this time, it was time to do it ourselves. And no, I don't mean that I will be begging for a portal again. No, dear viewers. This time, we will do the Wetlands skip run from Ironforge. Back when we were on our warrior, I actually completely forgot about this run. I used to do it all the time back when we didn't even have the hardcore servers and we were playing on the RP servers. After clearing up our bags in Ironforge, we start our journey. And on our way to the skip spot, we meet a gnome warlock, on their way to do the same as us. At the skip spot, there was also a warrior trying to jump. I know, I have no clue why I was having such a hard time with this jump, but eventually we get it and we keep moving forward. Until... I even rebound my jump key and it still took an uncomfortably long time. Nevertheless, we make this jump too, and from here on out it was smooth sailing until you reach the water. On our left there were murlocs, and in the water there are crocolisks. So we spent a bit of time trying to find them in the water, and once we thought it was clear, we went for it. Come on, just a bit more! Get away, you damn crocolisks! Come on, we're almost there! Easy, solved, bastard 20-year-old game, this wasn't even scary. All jokes aside, I was terrified that I would mess this up somehow, but thankfully we didn't. We then grabbed the flight point and then the boat to Darkshore. Now at Darkshore, we pick up a few quests. Also, our guild chat was extremely lively. It seems that more and more of you are trying this challenge out, and I am all for it. Just 3 weeks ago, we were at Stormwind begging for people to sign our petition, and now we are over 180 strong. Thank you all so much. Anyways, back to questing. We kill moonkins, then we check out a glowing red crystal.
Wow, red crystal!
Slay some vile sprites, which must have been out of date. Okay, I'm very sorry for that terrible joke. Wild grells and eventually satyrs. And reached level 17 after fighting the wailing highborns. Reading a couple of inscriptions and collecting relics. Just look at that quest log. It's enough to make a grown man cry. We then really quickly hop on our rogue because Levi said he had something to show us. And right in front of our eyes, at the Great Forge, he crafts the solid iron maul, which is honestly a very sick weapon that we will eventually try to get on our warrior. Anyways, here's a screenshot of his dead warrior. Now back to our priest, we turn in the quest we just finished up, and we went out again to slay Blackwood Windtalkers and Pathfinders. I know I'm a bit over leveled for these quests, but either way, priest felt amazing at this time. I quickly go back to Ametharon to check for Anaya, and to my surprise she was actually there. So we quickly grab her pendant and scurry out of there. Now it was time for the 20 goddamn bears. And in between, I decided to try and do the Absent-Minded Prospector, which is an escort quest. I also finally got a weak aura so I know how much HP I have left on my shield. Anyways, here's how the escort went. Damn it, how the hell am I gonna heal the Deadmines? Still got a chest though, so I think this was a very good trade between the behemoths and I. Back to Thistlebears. We also kill a few reef crawlers for their fine chunks. and noticed that Murk Deep was far away from the Murloc camp, so we pull him. And it was easy as 1, 2, and... damn it! 3 more crab chunks and thistlebears, and after turning in the quest at Aberdeen, we reach level 18. Loot through walls, twice, more crab chunks, river sample, and back to Aberdeen. Now vendoring some more trash, turning in a few more quests, and abandoning every other quest, putting us comfortably at level 18.5. Grabbing the boat back to Manethil Harbor, we take a flight path to Lakeshire. The following day, since I was level 18, I decide to fly back to Stormwind and train my spells. Man, I can't explain how good it felt to play at a reasonable time. It was 8:30 AM when I started, and seeing the sun in-game felt amazing. Now it was time to clear as many quests as we could in Redridge, so we started off with the boars, whelps, and tarantulas. Do you know what's the best part about leveling a priest? You don't need food, so that means that I don't need to farm food on my warrior today. We then put our efforts on squashing the Redridge gnolls and then focused on the condors for their meat. Of course the whelps for their scales too. Back at Lakeshire, we check the vendors and find the black whelp tunic, which is an insane recipe for our rogue and our druid, so we quickly purchase it before it runs out of stock. Vendoring some trash and turning in the quests has us reach level 19. But before we continue, make sure to like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton, and I have a special event planned for 10,000 subscribers. Thank you very much, and we can get back to the video now. Now that we were level 19, I wanted to grind some woolen cloth. And at first I thought I would fight the gnolls above Redridge, since I thought they had a decent chance of dropping wool cloth. After completing the quest, we get a grand total of 13 wool cloth. And while on the questing grind, I decided it's best to walk down to Duskwood and turn in the quest there and grab the flight point. Again, smooth run, no abomination, we grab the flight point and fly back to Lakeshire. And after turning in another quest, we fly back to Stormwind. Withdrawing all of our resources from the bank, we head over to the tailoring trainer and start crafting as many bolts of linen cloth as we can. The best way to get our tailoring leveled up is by crafting simple kilts. This is the least expensive way to level ourselves up to level 110. We also craft our first woolen bag, and as our first upgrade of the week, we craft the heavy woolen pants, using 5 bolts of woolen cloth and 2 fine thread. These pants are absolutely massive, giving us +3 intellect and +6 to spirit. We are looking hella fresh. As they say, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And this is precisely where the grind gets ugly, long, tedious, and monotonous. We deposit all the extra mats to our bank and fly to Lakeshire, purchase some melon juice, and set our hearthstone at the inn. Let me walk you through the troubles that I had with grinding wool cloth. I first head down to Render's Valley, hoping to kill some of the Blackrock orcs for both the quest and for wool cloth. And after a total of 0 quest items and wool cloth, I decide to give the Blackrock orcs in the north a try. And whilst I was getting quest items, this time I got a total of 2 wool cloth. And the area seemed very contested, so I decided to try something else. On the way back to Lakeshire, we kill some grunts and end up getting 1 more piece of wool cloth. Now, after 30 minutes, we only have 1 bolt of woolen cloth. Instead of wasting more time around Redridge, I decide to fly to Manethil Harbor, arrive in Darkshore, accept the Sleeping Druid quest, and start escorting him. I very quickly failed that escort as well. How will I heal the Deadmines? Walk all the way down to Ashenvale and go to Batharon's Haunt, where we were hoping to get more wool cloth. While we were here, we saw Druid Yolo. This is Vigo's Druid, and this is the last time we would see them, as they later died just 1 bar of XP away from level 34. 07 Vigo. We also finally reached level 20 on our priest, so that crosses off one of the goals from our list. Now after 1 whole hour, we had 4 bolts of woolen cloth. Yes, I'm having a great time. This is very fun. Great job, Zaki. Amazing. Anyways, after speaking with some of my members... Anyways, after speaking with some of our Discord members, we are told that the Stone Talon Mountains could potentially yield more wool cloth than Ashenvale. So after vendoring some trash, we set out. And they were completely right. We were actually getting significantly more wool cloth here. And the mob density made it way easier to grind mobs too. We even accept the quest for the Super Reaper 6000 blueprints, actually get them, and forget to turn it in. And after 1 hour, this time we had 19 bolts of woolen cloth. Flying back to Stormwind, we grab our resources from the bank and log in on our warrior, sending over our only small lustrous pearl that we have. Even getting a message from Medic saying,
"Hello, Saki. I have almost reached level 30. I shall wait for you and the others to catch up. Remain careful as you level your way up. Do not get yourself killed trying to rush your levels. Do not befall the same fate as Yasuma did. I will see you in Scarlet Monastery.
I am so sorry, Medic. For those who don't know, Yazuma was his druid who died at level 26. 07 for Yazuma as well. Now on our priest, we grab the pearl and craft a pearl clasped cloak, woolen boots, and double stitched woolen shoulders, as well as 3 more woolen bags. We also accept all the quests for the Deadmines that we can, train some new spells, and finish off our priest quest in Stormwind. After which, we flew over to the Sentinel Hill, found some people doing the Mysterious Messenger quest, and finished that off too, reaching level 21 in the process. We were now properly geared and ready to face the Deadmines. With the anxiety of 4 other lives in our hands, it was hard to sleep that night. So instead, I decide to progress a little bit on our rogue. We hop on our warrior and send over some potions to our rogue, and some food, making sure that he will have an easier time questing. Picking up the care package on our rogue, we go forth to victory. First, we go to Ironforge and speak to the leatherworking trainer. Now, in order to get medium leather, which would be necessary for a future upgrade, we will need to reach level 100 leatherworking. So we had quite a bit of a grind ahead of us. We then head towards the outskirts of Namerigan and complete our rogue quest, taunting us with a green dagger, which would have been amazing to have right now. Also, I should probably mention that I am putting my skill points into a dagger rogue build, since the one-handed swords that we can craft early on are actually worse than the daggers that we can craft now. So, for the time being, we will be going for the ambush build. At the Golbolar quarry, we slayed the Skull Thumpers and Bone Snappers, and we had a bit of a close call.
Trials where dangers reside, a CraftedLocked legion with
Thankfully, we survived and turned in the quests, reaching level 12. It's also been a pretty long time since I played on the rogue, so I had a ton of rested XP, which would no doubt be very helpful for our leveling. Turn in Stout, meet Pilot, slay Mangleclaw, turn in quest, lock Madan! Again, we access some quests and fly to Ironforge, catch some rats and arrive at Stormwind, turning in more quests and accepting others. We've already burned through all of this, so I'll skip ahead a little bit. We get back to Telsamar and it was time to hit the nastiest grinding session. We kill forest lurkers and boars. We also skin any dead animals that we find along the path, because we will be needing a lot of light leather to level up our leatherworking. We also really quickly hop on our warrior to send over some sharpening stones and food to our rogue. Plus 2 damage on each dagger is absolutely massive. Anyways, bears, boars, more skinning, and we reach level 13. Then it was time to get the cobalt ears and the mining equipment. And this is where nothing happened. The whole cave was cleared out apart from one mob, and we were able to grab all the equipment without being contested. We then spent some more time gathering all of the ears and the spider eye cores, while also skinning even more. Primetime Lock Madan is the highest light letter per hour. You cannot change my mind. We then turn in the quest to Stormpike and at the end, putting us very close to level 14. At this point, it was nearing dungeon time for our priest. So we hop on our druid and we craft some potions to aid our priest. And while on our priest, we clear out the bags again to hold as much loot as we possibly could. For the dungeon, I also downloaded a threat meter and grid 2. The threat meter helps us keep track how high on the threat we are, which was ultimately useless, and you will see why in the future. And Grid 2 just helped us heal better. After waiting for over 25 minutes on Medic to show up, we finally entered the Deadmines. The dungeon group consists of Civics, our warrior tank, which should be noted as Medic's alt. Sneaky Fritz, our rogue DPS. You guys remember Fritz from the last Deadmines we ran? He was the paladin. This is his rogue alt. Corbett, our hunter DPS. He is an absolute Chad who 100% isn't a stereotypical hunter. Mive, another hunter DPS. This is Levi's hunter, who kept multi-shotting. Also, totally not a stereotypical hunter. And Saki Priest, our priest healer. This is me, and it is literally my first ever time healing, so I was really feeling the pressure on this one. Now, since we didn't have a mage who could decurse, we kinda decided to just skip the undead miners because they can curse us for over 200 damage, and you can have multiple curses at once. What's more is that there was already a group clearing them, so we just went for the Deadmines only. Also, for this run, we opted to not get world buffs. I got an Anexia buff by just AFKing in Stormwind, but we decided to just send it raw with what power our characters had. So this was going to be a really fun time. Clearing the caves before the dungeon was actually pretty easy, and it wasn't bad at all. Once we walked into the Deadmines, this is where not being on our main characters started to show. Civics could not hold aggro. At all. I kept panicking on hailing. Mive kept multi-shotting. Fritz kept missing his kick and gouge timings. And Corbett... Corbett was a special case during this dungeon run. To make matters worse, my grid add-on was not showing the pets of the hunters, so I was not able to heal them even though they held aggro better than civics. However, we still proceeded. Rank Zor was an easy fight and so were Sneed and his Shredder. The actual scary part was the patrol. If it wasn't for the pets, I think I may have been cooked here. To add even more to this catastrophical dungeon run, I also somehow lose connection to the game, but still was able to talk to my fellow guildies on Discord. And we still decided to keep going. I restart my game and it all appears to be completely fine. Now at the Goblin Foundry, Corbett did something special again. And then my Bagnon glitched out, so I had to disable it as well. That's why you will see me using the Vanilla WoW bag skin. This is by far the most cursed run I had ever been a part of. The strengths of the first dungeon run we did paled in comparison to the weaknesses of the second run. I mean, the first run was like a well-oiled machine, whereas this run was like a machine being held together with duct tape and terrible glue. And then, with 2 hunters and a priest at our disposal, we somehow don't kill this mob before we pull the boss.
This is fun.
Anyways, we clear Glenna and we keep going forward. Now at Mr. Smite, apparently you can do the same Hodge tech on Rogue using Gouge. Looking back at the footage, we never timed it properly. But it's okay, the vibes were good, we were clearing methodically at this point and no major issues happened. We killed Cookie easily, and then we had a bit of a close call at Captain Greenskin, but we prevailed. And now it was time for the main event, which I was the most terrified of, Van Cleef. The fight starts off decent, but turns sour quickly. Civics was taking a lot of damage and kept getting critted, which meant I had to spend way more mana than normal. Then the second round of ad spawn and I instantly have aggro. Thankfully, we were able to stay calm, play our roles well-ish, and we finally cleared the Deadmines. I honestly can't tell you how glad I was for it to be over already. The whole time I felt like I was playing horribly, and having the fate of everyone else in my hands was just too much pressure for someone who has never healed before. Anyways, we get out of the Deadmines, render some trash, go to the undead side of it, and notice that there were still people clearing it. And since we were all tired and we wanted to take a little break, we decided that we simply won't do the undead part of the caves. What's more is that ZG and Onyxia would be dropping now, so I quickly log out and log back in on my rogue. With Summoning Aid's help, we find ourselves at Booty Bay, ready for the ZG buff. After grabbing ZG, a nice mage ports us back to Stormwind since our Hearthstone was still set in Ironforge, and we grab the Onyxia buff. Now you may ask, why am I doing all of this? Well, that's because I had some goals for my rogue too. Reach level 15, reach level 100 leatherworking, and get 2 big bronze knives. And the best way to speed this process up is with world buffs, since they benefit melee classes immensely. After grabbing Onyxia, I wasted no time and flew straight to Thelsamar, logging out at the end. Then on my druid, I craft some potions to make us even more powerful, and we head straight to the Stone Splinter Trogs, grabbing their teeth and slaying the scouts. After a couple of minutes, we were now level 14. We just needed one more level. Then I remembered that I had my priest logged out in the middle of the road, and without a single quest turned in. So I went back on my priest, turning in the quest had me reach level 22. This marks the end of our priest chapter for now. They have great armor, they are level 22, and have 4 woolen bags and a greater magic wand. Overall, very well geared for their level. And straight back to the rogue we go. Now here is where I would have considered going for Darkshore, but since we would need to do the Wetlands skip again, I decided I will instead power through Westfall at level 14. And power through we did. We kept killing everything in sight, completing quests left and right, grabbing the pocket watch without any issues since it was already cleared, and finally reached level 15. But I still had 40 minutes on our world buffs, so I decided that I am not going to stop there. I wanted a full quest log, and so after getting all the Defias and their bandanas, we go back and turn in every single quest. Finally, going back to Stormwind. We hop on our paladin and send over some copper ore to our warrior, and while checking our mailbox, we receive a message from Saki's dad, reading,
Son, it might have taken a while, but I have returned after grabbing the milk. I have seen you blowing up on the YouTubes, and I am so proud. Anyway, I am gonna grab some cigarettes now. Stay safe, son.
To this day, I have no clue who sent me this message, but thank you, Dad, I really appreciate it. And you should subscribe and join my Discord. Anyways, we log back on our rogue and turn in all the leather scraps into light leather and a bunch of linen cloth into linen bandages. And after crafting a lot of embossed leather gloves to level up, we still need 9 more levels to unlock medium leather, which is necessary in order to craft the big bronze knives. So, back to grinding leather we go. Heading over to Loch Madan, we kill, skin, for over 40 minutes. Just so we can get enough leather to get to level 100 leather working, and spare 8 light leather in order to craft 2 medium leathers. Sending them over to our warrior, we go to the forge. And with the combined effort of 3 of our characters, we can finally craft them, the big bronze knives. And we then mail them back to our rogue.
Grinding and crafting our spirits ignite. For hardcore survival we bravely unite. Soulseeker boys legion strong and so true. With hammer and